Hello, I'm Lorraine and welcome to the Free Insights podcast, where we explore the intersection between all things brand, marketing and insurance. In this first series, we'll be taking a deep dive into the insurance sector's talent crisis. I hope you enjoy this episode. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Liam Jeffery, founder and CEO of StudentVenture. Now, Liam is not just an entrepreneur. Liam is into jiu-jitsu and tries a little bit to play the guitar. He's also an economics graduate and, most importantly, a real-life Gen Zer. So welcome, Liam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Great.
Cheers.
So before we get into it, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into insurance, and more importantly, why you started StudentVenture?
Yeah, of course. So I started StudentVenture around 2 to 3 years ago. And we really saw the problem of students not getting any experience related to their degree. So I was a student. I studied at the University of Sussex. And I saw this on a personal level. Myself, my friends and the people I knew. They were at university. They went there because they thought they could get a job after university, and they just weren't. So I started StudentVenture to try and provide students part-time work with experience. And so that's one side of the coin. The other side was companies and industries were struggling to find talent. So we ended up seeing the insurance industries having a big problem with getting talent into the industry. And so it really seemed to develop where we were solving this problem for students, and we were kind of solving a problem for insurance as well. And so it kind of developed naturally where we kind of are now bridging this gap. And so we've been working with insurance, reinsurance companies, MGAs, insurance brokers, in just trying to develop their talent pipelines in a more effective way, really. And so it's been a long journey, and yeah, we're going forward, and yes, it's good.
Well, it's brilliant because you're already working with over 1,000 students.
Yep.
Who you've successfully placed into insurance businesses across the market.
Yep.
And as someone who's working really closely with those students, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions that young people have about moving into insurance? We say it's a perception problem. Yeah. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's from my perspective, and I don't know if I can say, like, it's good to say this, but I didn't really know anything about insurance around 3 years ago. Same with my friends and the people I knew. They never saw insurance as an industry. And so in the last 3 years, it's really opened up my eyes on how great of an industry it is. And so from my perspective, the insurance industry really needs to show that there's so much opportunity. So most people think insurance is just looking at spreadsheets, looking at data, but you can do sales, you can do marketing, you can do so many things within insurance. In addition to this, I think insurance is, people just think car insurance or home insurance, but insurance goes to renewable energy. It goes to insuring Ronaldo's legs. Like, there's so much involved in insurance. I think that message needs to get out there, because students don't know. They don't know that that's there. They just think car insurance, home insurance. Yeah. So I think that's a problem as well. I think thirdly, when I got into the insurance industry and I started going to events, I saw how everyone kind of knows each other. It's like a close-knit community, and everyone seems to have a good time, and that needs to be shown as well. It's not just you're on your own working 24/7 with no social life. There is a good social life in insurance as well. So I think that needs to be spread as well.
Absolutely. I mean, insurance is very much a relationships business. Yeah. Your platform is pretty unique in the market in terms of connecting students with future employers. And I just wonder, what is the way that your clients or other businesses who potentially should be your clients could use your platform to better connect with future talent?
So I think, first off, you need to look at the problem. Okay, there's Gen Z, but who is Gen Z? So Gen Z, there's a big spectrum. There's 12-year-olds to 27-year-olds. And so when you're trying to target and challenge or stop this challenge, or solve this challenge, you need to think, okay, who are you actually targeting in Gen Z? Are you targeting the 24, 27-year-old or the younger generation who are coming up? So I think what you need to do is compartmentalize who you're targeting. So within a strategy, you need to have a short-term strategy where you target university students and grads and those who are in the industry for a couple of years. And then you need to target secondary schools, college, and early those coming up into university. So I think first, the insurance industry needs to have two campaigns going on really. Obviously, if you're targeting 12-year-olds, you're not going to see the fruits of your labor until 12 years time, but that still needs to be done, because when I speak to students, they kind of made their career decisions when they were in secondary school, and then they chose their A levels based on that, and then they chose their degree. And so you really need to target them in that period as well. So you need to think of two sides. So once you've done that, you can use StudentVenture and other platforms like us in many different ways. So we've partnered with Uni Days, and so we have access to around 29 million users worldwide. And so obviously the insurance problem is a branding issue, but once you build that brand, you need to get that brand out there. And I think insurance isn't doing that enough, and so they need to use platforms like ourselves to get that brand out there. Make sure these students know that you are a company that is great to work for, and so you need to use platforms really like us. Instead of, also to add as well, a lot of companies they target just 1, 2, 3 universities. There's 160 UK universities, so open that up and target more universities and increase basically diversity as well in that approach.
That's really interesting. Just taking it right back to kind of secondary school level, brand building. I hadn't thought of that. That's when people decide what kind of career they want, normally based on, well, television programs or movies. I guess it would be TikToks now. I don't know. So we just need Hollywood to get behind us.
100%. I remember we was talking about this the other day. It's like a lot of people made their decision to go into investment banking through The Big Short and stuff like that, and then insurance doesn't really. There's one movie in insurance, right? It's I don't know what it's called, but insurance really needs to make sure it's known. And obviously, there's no films out there, so we need to use another approach.
Exactly. I'll talk to our creative director. Get one done. Okay. So thinking about the clients that you're working with at the moment, what sort of approaches do they take? What sort of briefs are they putting out on your platform? What sort of roles and projects are coming through? Yeah.
So our platform's kind of unique. So if you look at the industry, mostly there's internships, placements, and jobs. We allow companies to first access more students, so the 160 in the UK. 2, we allow companies to utilize these students in more ways than are currently possible. So we allow micro internships, projects, hackathons, mentorships. We allow industries and companies to utilize students in more ways to then create a better talent pipeline. And we see that as more effective, and that's what kind of makes us different. With us working with insurance companies, we've worked with insurance companies through renewable energy research, to marketing white papers, to data analysis, to LinkedIn posts. So we've really bridged the gap between insurance and university students. And so we've helped, I think, over 100 students get experience within insurance, and that's hands-on experience. So now these students really have now grasped an understanding of the industry, and the industry has seen, okay, what students are actually good. And then it's just bridging that gap, right? And so we kind of see internships as kind of obsolete, as it's very resource intensive and time consuming. There's more effective ways out there. And so if you look at the SMEs and the smaller insurance companies, we kind of provide a solution for them to access these students.
So that's really interesting. It's actually quite mutually beneficial, because the challenge that students have got is they come out of university with no work experience but a great degree, and actually haven't got an understanding of all of the industries that are available to them. So what you're doing is giving them the opportunity to try out an industry, see if they like it, but also to give those companies the opportunity to kind of test the waters, work with a number of different students on a number of different projects, so that they're making sure if they do offer a more traditional internship or invite someone to join a graduate program, they've kind of tried before they go down that road. Okay.
So definitely, it's like we talk about films and how that has an impact on students, but investment banking isn't what you see in The Big Short.
No, I hope
so
not.
I
really hope
literally
not.
So they've made their decision on the film they saw, and they're basing what it's going to be like on that. It's not reality. And so the best way for a student to see what the industry is like is through engagement. And so that's engagement through the projects, through mentorships, through events. Engage with as many students as possible, and then these students will really just see if they like the industry. And then same with companies, instead of just investing all your time and resources in 10 students, open up the opportunities to 100 plus, and then when it's time, invest the resources and the time in then 10 students, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's the best approach.
And I imagine the retention level of those students must be greater as well, because they know what they're getting into.
I think like the worst thing that can happen for a company is they invest £30,000, I don't know, into one student or graduate for a couple of months to a year, and then they leave. It's just it's a waste of time.
Yeah, this wasn't what I was expecting.
No.
And I suppose there's also the added benefit of the word of mouth, right? So if you're talking to your friends and they're doing a job through StudentVentures, then you're more likely to get some honest feedback of what is it really like in that industry.
100%. 100%. If like for me, as working in insurance, I tell everyone about insurance. So I've told probably 100 people. So by one person being in the industry, now 100 people know about it. So that is really real, that word of mouth.
I'm the same. My mission is to make it really easy for people who work in insurance to go to a dinner party and proudly say, yes, I work in insurance. That question, so what do you do? I work in insurance. And everyone would go, oh, wow, that's cool. That's it.
It's as well, like, I speak to so many people within insurance as well, and it's interesting to see how much they love it. They love it so much, and they want to pass down the wisdom that they've gained within insurance, and they want to give it to the next generation. And so I think the industry is looking to really support this. It's just, how do we do it?
And it's shifting that perception, because I think companies like Google did a great job when they brought in their slides and their sleep pods and all that sort of thing. Of there was a big PR around that movement. Everyone wanted to be in tech. That sounded exciting, and I suppose insurance needs to do the same in terms of showcasing what's good and great about working in the industry. 100%. So with that in mind, then, based on the students that you've worked with, what are the top things that they are interested in?
So of course, salary. You really work to pay the bills and to try and have a good life. So insurance pays well, and there's no point hiding that. We want to showcase that. We want to show the USPs of insurance, and salary's a great one. So students and graduates, they love the salary and how much money they can make. Number 2, the career progression. So there is meritocratic, where you can rise up the ranks quite quickly if you showcase that skill and you showcase that you want it. 3 is you can travel.
Yes.
So you can be in the UK, but insurance is worldwide. It's Singapore, New York, everywhere. So you can literally be at any place and work for an insurance company. And the culture is great as well. As we've said, it's a close-knit society. Everyone loves working in the industry. Everyone knows each other. And I think as well, like a lot of these companies now are hybrid, so you have that ability to work at home and have a lifestyle outside of work as well. So I think they're the key ones, to be fair.
And that's really, I think that's one of the things that people think of insurance as being very traditional, but everything that you're describing is a very modern approach to finding that work-life harmony.
100%.
Having work that's meaningful, where you can grow and progress. Being able to travel and explore your interests. Get paid well for doing a good job.
Yeah.
And
there's no negatives.
There's no negatives, right? Work-life harmony. It's there. So you touched on a little bit earlier about, you thought traditional internships will probably be obsolete. So what are some of the different ways that companies can modify their internship or work experience programs to make them more meaningful and engaging?
Of course. So I think what you really need to do first is recruit effectively. So we don't want that situation happening where you invest a lot of time and resources and they leave. So first you need to make the recruitment process effective. So you can do that in many different ways. You can trial the talent through projects to see if they like what they're doing. You can do that through exams and stuff like that. It's up to the insurance company, but you need to make sure that you're recruiting effectively because you don't want them to leave. Within the internship, I think companies need to showcase the range of different areas, and so it provides like a holistic approach to insurance. So if a student believes that they want to do data, still let them see what it's like to do marketing, sales, and other things, because they may still choose data, but now they know what insurance is like all round, and so I think that needs to be done in internships as well, if the company chooses to do that.
But it also helps connect to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So knowing that what role data plays in all of these other
100%.
Positions within the business and how the business operates. And I think that's really crucial actually to, finding meaning in the work that you're doing, particularly as you come in at an entry level where you might not be doing the big deals, but you're certainly playing a part in getting those deals done.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And we've said before, it's like you can do these micro internships, these project style approaches where you invest time or resources to a lot more students for a shorter period of time, and that allows you to whittle down the talent who's interested. And that is another approach that companies can take if they don't have the funds, or if they don't really have the time.
Mm-hmm. And touching on your first point about making sure the recruitment process is really a good one.
Yep.
Do you think there's an element of being able to better showcase your employer brand and your culture, because each business is its own culture? They're not the same because we're all in the same industry. Do you think companies do enough to say this is what our employer brand is, this is what it's like to work here, it's what we stand for?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, definitely not. They're definitely not spending enough time on their brands, I guess. A lot of companies anyway. I see a lot of insurtechs. They seem to be very techie. They're more forward thinking. But then you look at the traditional legacy type insurance companies. They potentially could do more than what they're currently doing to showcase this community. Because I can say from my perspective as a student, when I thought of insurance, it wasn't what it actually is. Yeah. And so there is that brand, the brand needs to change. And so I guess the industry needs to work as a whole to improve that.
Reposition itself in the minds of the student or the upcoming talent.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, our report obviously focused on the things that we know about, which is the branding and the marketing side of the talent problem, and how to reposition insurance in the minds of the talent market. But is there anything else based on your experience or the students that you deal with or the clients that you deal with that perhaps we've missed or that's worth talking about?
I think it's just engage. Just engage with as many students as possible and let them know insurance is there. Of course, definitely improve the brand and showcase what your brand is like. But there's no point having a great brand if the student doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
So you do need to first create a strategy to work out who you're targeting, number one, and then create that brand around that, and then campaigns. Then just engage. That's all I really have to say about that one.
And meet them where they are, right? So, maybe it's not LinkedIn, maybe it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Or...
TikTok's probably a big one. Instagram, maybe, but yeah, TikTok's probably the way to go. And LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn. All the students that I know, they all use LinkedIn, and that's like the primary, platform they use to get jobs and to see what employers are doing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't have thought that.
Obviously, they do spend like 4 or 5 hours a day on TikTok as well.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
But LinkedIn is more, okay, there is time, they're looking for graduate roles, they're looking for these placements. Okay, their first instinct is LinkedIn.
Right.
And that's where they're going to do their research on companies.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. What would be your overall message to insurance leaders, HR leaders within the insurance industry, if they could do one thing to help solve this crisis for themselves and for the industry, what would it be?
I think the industry has to work together to solve this problem. It's not the job of one insurance company to solve this. I think the industry has to work together to get to solve the problem. And I think it definitely will. I can see it. I see it on LinkedIn. I see it with the people I'm speaking to. They're seeing there's this big problem. And if they don't solve this problem in the next couple of years, it's going to get worse and worse and worse as people retire. And so the problem's there. We're seeing it. We just need to do a little bit more. And I think that will happen. It's just a matter of time. Yeah,
I think it is happening already.
Yeah.
Right? There are certain market-wide organisations who are doing good work in that space. We're seeing, a number of our clients have got, really innovative talent acquisition programs, or are engaging, with universities and high schools to kind of get the message out there and kind of give a broader insight into what a career in risk management or the risk management sector could be.
Yeah.
But what I think you're doing with StudentVentures that's so important is you're giving students and young people the opportunity to try out a career in insurance, to see what options are there, and exposing them to the diverse range of opportunities that isn't just actuarial science or broking. It's, as you say, marketing or legal or finance.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being a guest, but for doing that good work, and I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.